All right, happy Friday to everyone. Happy Friday. I am so excited and I hope you are too. So I want to say welcome to a podcast Rumbi Uncensored. Man, it's a beautiful day. Trust me, chilly, a little bit chilly, but God is good. So something amazing has been going down on Twitter. Literally, people were questioning why Chamisa decided to actually talk about God. When he launched his blueprint, you saw the blueprint, right? He launched recently. But I think before I proceed, looking at what was some of the Twitter tweets were saying, I would really want you guys to take a listen at what he said immediately after the launch. He had an incredible interview with Dara, HSTV. Take a listen.
Choose us. We thank you. We love you. God is in it.
I just want you spoke something around a lean cabinet.
Indeed.
15 ministers.
Indeed.
Would you want to give us the portfolios of these ministers?
Well, we have the portfolios and they're going to be announced in due course. But we already have. In fact, we already have a shadow cabinet. It will be announced. And it's an inclusive cabinet. It's a cabinet for everyone.
Inclusive, you bring in Zanu PF?
Oh yes, everyone who is good enough to serve people of Zimbabwe. That's the future. The future is not divisive. The future is diverse.
President, what is your favorite food? I mean, people would want to know.
Well, I'm a villager. So I love, traditional food, traditional meals. But chicken is my favorite. You give me chicken makaya, traditionally, prepared. Yes, I will visit you anytime.
What do you drink, President?
I drink water, and of course, more importantly, I drink, the Holy Spirit. That's what I drink.
What would be your favorite color?
Yellow. Of course, that's why we are gold. But white for peace is also my other color.
You've largely kept your family out of the public sphere. Why?
Well, they are not politicians. They are not public figures. I'm the one who is in the public space. But of course, on account of their connection to me, they are also in the public arena. But look, we don't want them to be. The biggest problem is when you are a wife to a prophet, you are not a prophetess. When you are a wife to a president, you are not a presidentess. When you are a wife to a professor, you are not a professoress. This whole thing of wanting to try and import roles in a manner, yes, you are the first lady, you must do first lady roles without importing the politics into it, without dividing people. The first lady must unite all, even those in the other political parties. That is the difference.
But fundamentally, they support their husbands.
Of course.
And they'll support your ideology.
Of course.
So they're part of your ideology.
Indeed. But they cannot then be an extension or wanting to compete, as we have seen in the past, that the husband is almost like you have two presidents. On TV there, you see even the wife has more coverage as a politician, not as a supporting, to the husband, or as the first lady leading in charity and other work that is supposed to be done. We want to change that psyche. I mean, look at South Africa, look at other countries. They have first ladies there, but the orientation is different. We want to change our politics.
How do you spend your free time?
In prayer, with God. It's so beautiful. Try it, my brother. You will never regret. It gives you inner strength. The inner man is strong. The spiritual gym is stronger than any gym you can ever think of.
I think I'll do you guys a favor by starting with a tweet that was sent out by Hope Chingono. So I'm going to read it through because he was definitely 150% against that section of the blueprint. So I'm going to read quickly. And I think first thing, let me start by reading actually the section before I even talk about his comments. So this is section 1, subsection 3.1, where it talks about detailed interventions. So point 1, it says a God-fearing nation. God first, God is in it. So this is what Nelson Chamisa is literally promising to the Zimbabweans. So he said, we will restore Zimbabwe back to God in honor, values, faith, worship, and praise. We'll give glory to God for all our victories, successes, and gains. We'll restore the role of the church as the custodians and guardians of conscience, morals, and ethics of society. The church shall provide a compass of government, speaking truth to power. In this regard, we will create a special mechanisms, structure, and institutions to facilitate for the role of the church in governments. We shall dedicate nation, countries, its people, and resources to God for his glory. We will rededicate Zimbabwe to God and rebuild the altar, covenant, decrees, and ordinances. The citizens' government will create a conducive and enabling environment for churches to worship God. Zimbabwe shall be known as a place of salvation, healing, redemption, and restoration to the glory of God, the Creator. Zimbabwe shall be known for religious, tourism, and visitation. And I know that some people had a problem with this column, which include my brother, Hope Watchman. But all right, so I'm going to read the comment from Hope Watching On. So he said, I'm reading the CCC election manifesto and something jumped out, which I want to talk about. Opposition should avoid getting itself entangled in emotional arguments of faith and religion. Zimbabwe doesn't need a theocracy run by Christians because we have Muslims, Hindus, traditional religion folk, and even atheists who are Zimbabweans. They are all bona fide citizens who should not feel ostracized because one belief has been put ahead of others. The opposition should promise to run the state professionally without religious dictates. Zimbabwe should always be a secular state where every citizen feels protected by the state regardless of their religious views. I have had this discussion with Nelson Chamisa in 2020, and we agreed to disagree. I'm a Christian, but that is my religious belief, which I should not impose on anyone else, more so if I am a president. My view is that politicians should keep their faith to themselves and not impose their beliefs on anyone else. More importantly, they should avoid putting things in manifestos that will take away focus on real issues of hospitals, schools, jobs, economy, infrastructure, and related issues. Zimbabwe should be a secular state where there is separation between the church and the state. And let me just be honest, I do agree with some of the stuff that he wrote, but I disagree with the fact that he says that should be eliminated. This detailed here never talk about Christianity. It speaks about God first. So God is the umbrella of every religion on earth. But the only problem is that people confuse when Muslims are saying, no, we believe in Muhammad. They are not saying they're worshiping Muhammad. They are saying we worship God through our role model, Muhammad. Buddhists as well, when they say we love God, they are saying we respect Buddha, we honor his principles, and we follow his footsteps, but we worship God. So you see, let's not confuse God and a religion. God isn't a religion. You know, religions were literally being formed by individuals. We have certain beliefs that everyone is following. For example, if we talk about people that are worshiping our ancestors, I don't think they really worship. They're kind of respecting and honor ancestors, but they worship God. So there is a confusion between God and religion, which I'm saying, please, guys, chill. This has nothing to do with the religion. This has everything to do with the superiority of God. Whether we like it or not, there is no politics without God, because there's no politics without the people, and there are no people without God. We all came from one Father, Yahweh. So what we believe in and how we live our life is nothing to do with the fact that we have a superior person among us, God. So this is what he's simply saying. One thing that we can all agree is that Zanu PF completely lost it. You know, if you look at what they believe in today, it has nothing to do with the people. Because when evil is there, it shows that there is an absence of God. Because God is love. God is unity. God is sharing. God is respect. God is humility. But everything that represents Zanu PF is actually opposite. It's contrary to love, to unity, respect, sharing, leadership. There is no man who can lead without the help of God. He won't make it. So we need to get that very clear. And I think one of my argument was that when you look at the dollar that we are using today for the United States of America, it's written in God we trust. You know, in God we trust. When you look at America, they've got what they call Thanksgiving. Those are principle laws that if you apply them, they bring change into your life, whether you like it or not. They sit and celebrate as families, celebrating what God has done for the year. We should do all this kind of thing, not because we are copying, but they are rituals that brings us together. We need to also understand that in Zimbabwe, there's division. Zimbabwe is broken. And one little thing we worry about, I think we shouldn't even worry about having God in the place, because that's what we actually need. Before we talk about all these parliamentarians, councillors, and ministers, let's actually talk about God. Put God first. Whether you're an atheist, you are a Hindu, we all at the end of the day belong to one Father. So actually, this column is so important because it brings all of us together. So I'm sure that most people just have misunderstanding. They are more sold out to a religion or to individuals and forget that at the end of it all, we all belong to one Father. Yahweh is our Father. You and me, we are family. We are one. You may slide me now, but we're going to be in heaven, the same place, y'all. So chill, relax. You understand? Relax. Yes. So I completely say to my brother Hopo, there is a difference between religion and God. Don't confuse the two. America got that long time ago. That's why they said in God we trust. And look where the country is going. Successful, whether you like it or not, because it's a principle law. Check, wait and see what's going to happen to Zimbabwe if we put God first. Let's put God first. Without God, you won't bring down Zanu PF kingdom. And the only way to bring them down is to put God first. The only way to bring this regime down is to put God to war. And I'm telling you facts. We need God. We can't. Evil that is going down in the country is actually a sign that we are completely off the rail. We need to put God first. All right, so I love this. Very interesting. I love it. I don't know what you guys think, but as far as I'm concerned, I think it's a great thing. One of the things that I truly also want to say is that I love the vision when it comes to where Chamisa is going. And you've seen he launched his blueprint. I love the vision. Chamisa is a visionary. And it's just that as Zimbabweans, we are used to chaos. So sometimes it's harder for us to understand when we are in the midst of order. And understandably so, you know. So there's some of the things that he actually mentioned which they need to do in 100 days. So things like release of political prisoners, restore dignity rights, hope and respect to all citizens. So we spoke about restore sanity to the education system, remove the color curriculum and dignity to teachers. And I also don't understand how come Zanu PF was implementing a color, considering that the rural masses don't even have Wi-Fi. Some don't even know how to use a computer. Look how selfish people are. They don't even consult and say, guys, what do you guys think about some of the changes that we're making? They care less about the people. They only care about power and money. Greedy. That's all that they care about. And remove bond notes. Please let that bond notes go. It's just a useless paper. Let's have money that works for everyone temporarily while we work on having our strong dollar back. Oh, you know, the $2 note, the $1. Oh, gosh. Amazing. Free and universal primary education and primary health care. And some people didn't understand. What they're trying to say is that there's always going to be private hospitals, but government, for those that cannot even afford, we must cater for them and give them things for free. I completely agree. There are kids who can't afford school fees. We must accommodate them. Make sure that the money that's being looted right now as we speak, our God money should cater for the poor. We consider the poor first. So talk about set stakeholder turnaround timelines for all public service, parastatals, municipalities, applications, processes. You know, free airwaves, including allowing cheaper internet, Starlink. And because, guys, we need free airwaves because we also want to bring our own entertainment there. We are on our way somewhere. We need to have our own TV stations there. Bring real entertainment. Real entertainment. Yes. Top class entertainment. Top class entertainment. 100%. And also revisit border paperwork for passengers, vehicles, good, especially South Africa, Botswana, Zambia, etc. Stop leakages and illicit financial flows, new laws and mechanism to deal with corruption. And that's the reason why Zanu PF is holding tight. They know they have nothing to offer, but the money that they looted. Yeah, we're going to take our money back, y'all. Back to the country and cater for the poor. We know we stuff all our monies overseas, and those banks are ready to release them back. Yo, it's gonna be fire for fire, yo. All right, so war on drugs cartels, that one, whatever it takes. War on drugs and barons, yo, these people, whatever it takes. title deeds to urbanize, and all farmland, new farmers, title deeds for those that have got the land. Massive infrastructure rehabilitation projects, fix broken politics, decisively deal with violence, intolerance, and hate. This one, guys, what are we fighting for? Why are we fighting? Check what's going on with politicians. Did you see recently they were all being given money, those $40,000? And while you were fighting the rural areas with nothing, we can do better, man. We can do better. But I also know why. It's because what Zanu PF did is that they really suffocated the rural. You know, because they suffocated the rural in terms of education, in terms of electoral processes, because they knew that if they can be wiser, they were going to lose elections. But this time, the rural are done. These are our parents. Each and every person in the diaspora is speaking to their parents at home. You have no vote, y'all. You're going down. 4 flat. Back to square zero. And we're going to start the nation together. And together we can. Together we can. Okay, so debt resolution. Fair prices to farmers, to their produce and crops. Restoration of leadership values, manners, ethics. You are spending too much money on slave queens. The man that's supposed to feed the poor, you're spending it on slave queens. Lack of morals. I remember talking to someone, I was like, guys, you remember the story of Susan Mutami? That story showed me how wicked our people are. How can one woman allegedly sleep with the entire cabinet? What a shame. Because men are no longer respecting themselves. We need to restore our ethics and manners and values, principles. You know, I remember this girl, she's actually an actor. She said she found it very hard to get a job because every time she get to approach a record label, they were always going to ask her to sleep with her first before she get a job. What a wicked people we are. The lack of morals. We're going to restore back on morals, family structures, and restart. All right? Going to do that. Then we talk about repeal of oppression legislation. Please. Those oppressive laws must be removed immediately. We need to be human beings again. E-government and digital platforms, everything. Trust me, we are so behind. In 2023, guys, we're still using paperwork. We should be more advanced than ever. Like other countries, people are more advanced. We can do. Together, guys, we can. I think together we can. All right? Yeah. All right, so moving right along. Now, guys, I wanted to pull out this case study because this is going to help all of us, you and me, study. I love South Korea. The story of South Korea is fascinating. But let's just walk through this together so that you guys can understand why I admire and respect South Korea. So South Korea got its independence in 1952. So prior to the independence, in 1945, they lost a war against, that was a Pacific War, and then, which was part of Japan's territory, which was occupied by America and Soviet forces. So in 1948, with the end of the US military government, South Korea declared its independence, that was from Japan, is the Republic of Korea in 1952. But 1952, so I'm going to give you a bit of a background in terms of what happened from 1952. So from First Republic, that was in 1948 to 1960, First Republic. And by the way, I decided to pull this case study because of Zanu PF and the First Republic, Second Republic. They're always going to be claiming. So I want to give you an overview of where we could have been today, you know, if we had good leaders. So then they had First Republic in 1948 to 1960. Then Second Republic, 1960 to 1963. Then a military rule, 1961 to 1963. Third Republic, 1963 and 1972. Then Fourth Republic, 1972 to 1979. Then Fifth Republic, 1979 to 1987. Then Sixth Republic, 1987 to present. So more or less, we kind of share the similarities with South Korea because we have a military regime as we speak. This military regime has always been there. You know, you have heard how much Zanu PF is always relying on the backup of the military regime. So we can say we are also under the very more or less the same as South Korea. But South Korea today as we speak, South Korea, this is after how many years? It started with a population of about South Korea had about 400,000 people, and today it's sitting on a population of about 12 million to 40 million. But trust me, and they're saying since its inception, South Korea has been substantial development in education, economy, and culture. Since the 1960s, the nation has developed from one of Asia's poorest to one of the world's wealthiest nations. Education, particularly at the tertiary level, has expanded dramatically. It is said to be one of the 4 tigers of rising Asian states, along with Singapore, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. Because they had leadership. Leadership with goals, not what we have now. Fights, screaming, shouting, violence, threats, intimidation, a shame. I said we are sitting with South Korea that have proved that it's possible. We can all agree that the problem we are lacking in Zimbabwe is leadership. We have a mafia that is manipulative, controlling people into the wrong direction. I don't think Zimbabweans care really not to be led. If Zanu PF was doing well, I mean, who would care? There wouldn't be any of these opposition parties or alternative parties, because alternative parties only mushroomed because there were so many EUs in the current regime. And we have seen where we are today is a proof, a testament that something does not make sense in Zimbabwe as far as leadership is concerned. So I'm just praying that we're going to wake up and realize how much potential we have and what we can do together. Now that we have decided to restart, because without a shadow of a doubt, guys, we are going to restart. So check South Korea, from a population of 400,000 people to a population of 12 to 14 million today, being the richest country. What do you guys think? Together, we can. Zanu PF failed, but right now as we're going to restart, together, we will. By the help of God, everything is possible. Oh, by the way, so South Korea, not everyone is really affiliating themselves with religion, but there's Christians and Buddhists in the place. But I respect both of these religions. Christians, I'm a follower of Jesus Christ, so I respect. And then the Buddha, you know Buddha, when it comes to their religion, quietness, peace, service, love, unity, sacrifice. That's what Buddha is all about, peace. It's time, guys, when we said it's enough, let's restart. So I would say God must be first in Zimbabwe. God, I didn't say religion, I said God. There's a difference. So don't mix the two. Because guys, if you think you can do this alone, then I'm out. I'm going to un-Zimbabwe myself, because I don't think I'll be able to follow anyone who is disregarding God. We need God. God first. Everything second. Guys, tell me what you think in the comment section below, because I'm super excited and I can't wait to share this with you guys. Can't wait. We can't wait to all meet and just having party as we have run for the inauguration, because the change is here. The time to restart is now. The restart button is on. May God bless Zimbabwe. I love you all. See you guys in my next upload. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, bless you all. Bye.